Do you know Diamond is dating?
Hey! Quick question for those of you that are done watching the entire season of this show. Quick question. How is your mental health? How is your sanity? Because guys, I don't think I'm doing okay right now. I don't think I'm fine. I feel like my brain is shaking. Yeah, I can feel like some level of vibration up in my brain. Yeah, I don't think I'm okay because this show is fucked up. No. See, there's nothing anybody will tell me. This show is fucked up. The cast members, they are more fucked up. They are crazy. They are crazy. They are insane. Guys, see, the level of emotions that this show has been evoking in me since I started watching this season. I'm scared for my mental health. I feel like I'm going to lose my mind at some point. And if I do go through all the episodes with my sanity intact, I'm going to come give testimony here. See, I've been provoked beyond all reasonable doubt. 1 minute, I'm quite excited like a child. The next minute, I'm having so much fun. And then the next minute, I'm really disgusted. Yeah, I'm disgusted. I'm irritated. I'm pissed. I'm having fun. I'm laughing. Guys, it's too much for me to handle. And for this particular episode, see, this particular episode, the predominant emotion I felt all through this particular episode was anger. Guys, I was just angry all through. I was angry all through, particularly at Swanky Jerry. Guys, Swanky Jerry is definitely not the kind of friend you want in your circle. Yeah. I mean, for those of you that want to build your social status, you know, you want to know people, you want to get connected to people, you would want to definitely have someone like Swanky Jerry in your circle. You definitely want to be friends with someone like him, but that comes at a cost. Swanky is an extremely possessive friend. You see those kind of friends that, oh, because I like you, you are my friend, I know all your secret, I want us to be like bread and butter. The moment you start trailing away, right, you go and start making friends with other people, oh my, this guy will set you up and fuck you up big time. From this episode, it just kind of dawned on me that Annie's kind of really manipulating the so-called people that are friends, the so-called people that tend to show care and concern about her, you know, all in the guise of, oh, my marriage, my home, I'm going through a lot, I'm going through a lot. And so she's just literally doing shit, you know, doing things here and there. And then Bonang, all that drama, all that, guys, that was just too much. Unnecessary drama, unnecessarily chaotic, and then Louis, I just feel like Louis is just too soft. Louis is definitely not going to survive in that group. That guy is too soft. See, if I were Louis, all that nonsense that Swanky lied about, oh my bro, man to man, you will talk. You will explain yourself. See, this episode was just really annoying. You know what? Yeah, let me just calm down. First off, we're going to get into this video. We're going to analyze the highlights of the events as they unfolded on this particular episode. And as usual, I'll urge you all to please make sure you watch to the end of this video. Do not skip unnecessarily so that you don't miss out on the tea, all right? And also, please make sure you share your thoughts. Just feel free, share your thoughts in the comment section below. And officially, you are specially welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Glory Elijah. This is Frankly Speaking with Glory Elijah, and I am the girl with the tea. Guys, if you're yet to subscribe to my new YouTube channel, then you are actually missing a lot, all right? So there's a new video on that channel. The link is in the description box, and you can also check the floating cards for the link, all right? So if you're yet to subscribe to that channel, please click on the link to become a member of that community as well. All right, and I promised you all a Gambia vlog, so I dropped a video of the vlog on that other channel. So if you want to experience my experience on my trip to Gambia, please go ahead and check it out. And on this channel, If you're new here, if you are yet to officially become a part of this community, it's quite easy. Go ahead and do exactly what you see on your screen. All right, now quickly, let's proceed into the details of this conversation. Let's begin with the first major highlight of this episode. So Annie had spilled to Bonang and Zari about her own side of the beef between herself and Swanky. So according to her, she had invited Swanky over for conversations and she had spilled her idea to him, for both of them to collaborate and host some of the cast members of the show in Lagos, Nigeria, which is actually a fantastic idea. Now, Swanky had discouraged her from going ahead with the plan. According to him, that was not the right time. That was not the best time to do it. Only for him to go behind her back to host the event, host these people, and did not invite her. So she saw it on the blogs, she saw it online, she saw it all over social media. So she had felt betrayed. Now, in her own words, Swanky had betrayed her, which is why she did not believe his voice note. According to her, the voice note was fake, that she knows Swanky very well. She knows him all too well. That after such an embarrassment that he had actually given to her, she who is not just an ordinary person, she who is Baba's wife, that she just knows that voice note was fake. Now, guys, when Annie said all what she said, guys, I was kind of skeptical, about the whole business. I just felt like, this whole thing is just all too shady. Remember, every human being is their own first advocate. It was Zari's next words that just made it all make sense when she had said that Swanky had told them that the reason he was upset with Annie was because he had introduced Annie to his South African friends. He was the one that introduced Annie to the group, and now Annie is feeling fresh. I'm like, wow, how childish, how petty. So because Swanky feels like he was the one that introduced Annie to the group, so Annie should be following him behind. Anywhere he goes, Annie should go. Anywhere he sits, Annie should sit. Anybody he's friends with, Annie should be friends with that person. Annie should not have freedom anymore. Annie should not even breathe. Annie should not even exist. Annie should become a pawn, a puppet in his hands. Annie should begin to do his bidding, everything to the T. Really, Swanky. Guys, it just completely made sense that Swanky comes across as a very, very possessive person, a very possessive friend, a very jealous friend. Yes. And then it made me realize that, wow, that could have been the reason he set Louis up with Bonang. Yes. He saw the way Louis was already, getting into the group, making friends with everybody, connecting with everybody, even though he was desperately doing it, right? But Swanky recognized that desperation. And guys, hey, once upon a time, Swanky could have had the same level of desperation to become the way he is big now. Yeah, so Swanky definitely did recognize that level of desperation in Louis and saw that the likes of Bonang is very, very welcoming, very, very accommodating, even though she calls herself a very, very selfish person, right? But he probably recognized that Louis would have easily penetrated through Bonang's defenses and decided that, okay, fine, I'm going to guard this friendship I have with Bonang with my life, even though it means lying against Louis, even though it means setting him up. And guys, it did happen. You know what, before we get to that scene, let's just continue first. Whilst Annie was having that meeting with Bonang and Zari, Swanky, of course, was having a similar kind of meeting with his gossip partners. That's Kanye, Nadia, and K-Leg. Now, we know why Swanky would call those ladies for conversations, because those are the people that always takes his side. Yes, and he needed people that would lean into his own reasons for being at loggerheads with Annie. And just as he wanted, they were giving him the kind of energy that he wanted, with the exception of K-Leg, of course. And I absolutely loved K-Leg's position in that whole conversation. But let's start with Swanky. Swanky was giving off the vibe of that friend that had been really betrayed, the friend that is really heartbroken. The way he went on and on explaining about how he cannot be happy and, thriving and doing his thing when his friends are in a dark hole. He wants to be there for them no matter the situation. Like, he was making it look like, oh my God, I saw all of that rumors, all of that scandal about Annie and Tuface. They are my friends. I wanted to be there for them. And Annie did not respond to my voice note. Oh, I feel like like I've wasted resources. I feel like I've wasted my time, money. Guys, when he was mentioning all those resources that he had wasted, that he felt like he had wasted, I was really like, okay, Swanky, I don't understand. Are you the one that have been paying for all of Annie's outfits on the show? Are you the one that has been feeding Annie on the show? Are you the one that has been paying for all of her flights to and fro Nigeria and South Africa all through the duration, of filming the show? What exactly have you been doing for Annie that you feel like you've actually wasted? Like, I couldn't understand it. Now, as if that was not enough, there was also Nadia. Ladies and gentlemen, I said this before when I was, analyzing and reviewing season 1, that Nadia literally works around the group like a headless chicken. Yeah, anywhere Kanye goes, she goes. Anything Kanye believes, that's what she believes. Anything Kanye decides to do, she's game. Yes. So that was the exact same attitude she gave in that conversation. Because Kanye was complaining about Annie, because Swanky was complaining about Annie, she also felt obliged, to jump on the train. Hence, she started complaining about, feeling like she's not friends with Annie. That, she now, because of this beef that's going on between Annie and Swanky, she just realized that she and Annie, they are not friends. They don't have deep conversations. And now that Annie is no longer friends with Swanky, they are no longer friends as well. And I'm like, girl, at least for once in your life, have a mind of your own. If you felt a connection with Annie, then that is it. Why are you now questioning how you feel about Annie because all of a sudden she's at loggerheads with Swanky? And then Kanye, who claims to be friends with Annie, who claims to, have a soft spot for Annie, who claims that Annie is like her weakness because she always wants to stand up for Annie. She always wants to fight for Annie in any situation because of what Annie has been going through in a marriage to Tuface. All of a sudden as well, started complaining about Annie. She feels like she's undergoing a breakup with Annie, that she used to be the one to fight for Annie. For instance, the whole Zari situation, that she literally bought the beef. She bought the quarrel and, was fighting for Annie. But now it's like Annie just discarded her. She feels used. And I'm like, okay, I understand Kanye's situation now. In this new season, Kanye has lost control of Annie. Kanye has lost her voice. Kanye has lost her status, her unimposed position as the queen of the group, the queen bee of the group. She has lost control as the captain of the ship of that group. And it's very obvious that the one person that she could easily control in that group besides Nadia was also Annie. But now Annie is coming to own herself. Annie is now owning her shit. She's now owning her marriage. She's now standing on her own 2 feet because now she has realized that the so-called people that she calls friends in that group, not like they are necessarily concerned about the issues that she's dealing with in her marriage. They just want to be in the loop of things. They just want to have the information. They just want to know. And according to Annie, she feels like they're just being judgmental. They want to hear that there's a problem where none exists. And guys, we could equally interpret that to be Annie living in denial. Yes, I've said this before in my previous reviews. Yes, that Annie's just living in denial. Annie just wants somebody to tell her that, what you believe about your husband is nothing but the truth and not what the media is saying. And because these people are not telling her what she wants to hear, she would rather cut off from the group, than still be there. Just as I thought. K-Leg felt like Kanye's so-called friendship with Annie was not genuine. Yes, she just felt like, everything was just for a show. Everything was just for fronting. Yes, because if Kanye was genuine friends with Annie, she would not have told Annie fuck you in front of people like that. Now, typical of Kanye was very, very, unremorseful about it. She was still adamant that it's because they are friends that she can comfortably say that. Now, K-Leg was trying to make her understand that, listen, if both of you were having a one-on-one conversation, then that's okay. But there were other people there. People are different. She would not be able to handle it, and you need to understand that. But Kanye was still adamant, and she still held her ground that she can only say that type of thing to her own friends, and she considered Annie a friend. Hence the reason she said that. Ladies and gentlemen, this question goes to you. Do you think friendship is enough reason, to use such language, such words on your so-called friend in the midst of people. You see, Kayla was not the only person that felt like Kanye wasn't being genuine, in terms of our own definition of friendship. Zari also felt like Kanye was a snake. According to her, no matter how many times Kanye sheds her skin, she will always remain a snake. And then she painted the scenario of where she had that fallout with Annie in season 1, and Kanye just sat down there and allowed both of them to have a go at each other. So for her, if you were genuinely my friend, you should have stepped into the conversation and tried to explain to Annie that what she thought I meant was not actually what I was actually saying at that point in time. And guys, Zari had a valid point. I see, this whole thing was just really eye-opening for me. Yeah, it just literally gave confirmation to my thoughts that all this so-called friendship that these people are claiming that they have in this group, it's really not friendship. Yeah, when they meet, what do? They gossip. And it was quite hilarious for me when Nadia was complaining that, oh, she and Annie, they've never really had deep conversations. And I'm like, what is your definition of deep conversations? When you meet with Kanye, people are literally gossiping about the business of other people in the group. When you meet with Swanky, people are gossiping about other people. Do people literally even sit down to discuss business? No. Do people sit down to strategize on major things, major movements to do? No. You people, when you meet on this show, it's all about gossip, gossip, gossip. So what is your definition of deep conversations? Now, this next scene was just literally scandalous. There's nothing anybody would tell me about what Tuface was trying to explain at that dinner table. Ladies and gentlemen, there was no reason whatsoever for Tuface to start such a horrendous conversation in the midst of all of that scandal that Annie was trying to deal with at that point in time. I mean, that was just so freaking ridiculous. Imagine inviting your close friends in the group to dinner, and then you sit down, you open your mouth, and you are making a case for men, African men, who claim to love a woman, but then their manhood has a mind of its own. Oh, I can love a woman, I can give all my heart to a woman, but then I can still go ahead and fuck anybody I want to fuck. Oh, and that's because my thing has a mind of its own. I'm like, what ridiculous ideology does this guy have in his head? And when Nadia was so shocked and questioning him about what he was saying, this dude kept on reiterating, kept on talking about, oh, that's my belief, that's what I think, that's what I believe. And yes, I understand that Tuface has a challenge with the English language. I mean, think about it. For the longest time, Tuface is not the most interesting person to interview. Yeah, because sometimes when he wants to express himself, he finds it difficult to pass on his message. So a lot of times, most of the things he says never come out right. A lot of times you find a lot of people misconstruing what he says, because there's always that challenge for him to drive home his point. There's always the challenge for him to express his point without getting misunderstood. So there's a possibility that he was actually misunderstood on that table. But then the point where he kept on saying, no, that's what I believe. Yeah, that's what I believe. Because we're asking him to clear the air. We're asking him, dude, are you saying this about yourself or are you generalizing? And he kept on saying that, oh, he's saying it about himself. Guys, it was so embarrassing. Yes, and I couldn't even blame Annie for leaving the table, although she leaving the table was really wrong. Yes, because hey, you invited people, they left their business, they left their homes to come sit with you and your husband at dinner, and then you left them without courtesy. For me, I just felt like that was just unrefined. But at the same time, I couldn't even blame Annie, because this man was oh God, this man was shamelessly disgracing. Guys, at that point, I felt really bad for Annie, because it's one thing to have a partner that does all of that to you, but then it's another thing to have a partner that is so ignorant that he cannot even read the room. He cannot even read the table. He cannot even read the times to know that this is not the right time to make such a conversation a joke. And then Tuface during his conversation was saying that, oh, Nadia understood what he was trying to say, but then he felt offended. I'm like, bro, shh, you have no right to be offended. Even though that was you trying to make for conversation, that was just wrong. You just literally disgraced this woman. made it look like she was in agreement with all of your infidelities. Doesn't really make sense. Moving on to the last scene about Swanky's dinner with Bonang, Fontana, Zari, and Lewis. Ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing anybody would tell me. That dinner was a massive setup by Swanky. That dinner was a massive instigation of drama and chaos amongst warring parties. I mean, I don't know if it's production that actually set that up or if they instructed Swanky to call for that gathering, yes, but the fact that Swanky claimed that he was the one that invited those women, I said, nah, there's no way Swanky did this for bonding and connecting, as he put it during his confessionals. That's a blatant lie, because the way he was just calling out this one, calling out this one, bringing this conversation, bringing that conversation, knowing fully well that the people there have unresolved matters, unresolved issues. And then let's also talk about the lie. He lied against Lewis to Bonang. Guys, that was just a dirty setup. I mean, Swanky was looking and acting like a child that wanted his peers to fight dirty, whilst he sits down there sipping from that ridiculous and annoying glass of champagne that he's always holding. Beginning with Fontana, we don't know how it ended between herself and Diamond the day she went to Diamond's house. We don't know if they shagged after the kiss. We don't know if they are now officially an item. We're yet to hear from Diamond. Diamond did not make any appearance in this particular episode, yes. But what we do know for sure is that automatically Fontana now has beef towards Zari, because she feels like Zari is a hindrance towards Diamond's liberty. Yes. Oh, because the guy is your baby daddy, you don't want to give any, you don't want to give room for any other woman to come in. So now Fontana is taking it upon herself to step in between Zari and Diamond. She's taking it upon herself to stay in charge, to become the woman, you know, that is able to remove Zari, the boss lady, from a boss lady position in Diamond's life. And guys, this is how I see it, because of all the things that she said during her confessionals, because of how she behaved throughout that dinner. Yes, even the argument that she had, the slight argument that she had with Zari. It just felt like Fontana is out to prove a point, that even though Zari is the baby mama, she as well can step into that mix and take charge and take control and take over Diamond and even become the boss lady in Diamond's life. I loved the fact that the first thing Lewis had done when he walked into dinner was to apologize to Bonang for what had happened in the past, you know, between both of them in his country. Now, Bonang was claiming selective amnesia, or should I say absolute amnesia, because she kept on saying that she does not remember this event. Lewis is currently 25 years old. This young man said that the said event was his first event that he organized in his country, I think Namibia, and he was only 23 years old. Guys, this means that this was like 2 years ago. Yes. So according to him, it had happened and then it had rained and he had put her back on a flight and she had gone back to South Africa. Bonang was still maintaining that she does not remember this event. Whilst he was apologizing, Bonang wasn't really buying the apology. She wasn't even believing his story, the way he narrated it. And that was where Lewis realized that, oh, Swanky had actually, you know, altered the whole story that he had actually shared with the guys at the basketball court. Now, what I was expecting Lewis to do at that point was to face Swanky and ask Swanky to repeat what he had told him or told him and the other guys at the basketball court, and then also say or even ask Bonang, what exactly did Swanky tell you? Now, there's a possibility that Bonang might not, you know, regurgitate the whole story, but at least, bro, stand up for yourself, man up. But then I just felt like, because this guy just desperately wants to be a part of the clique, you know, just desperately wants to build bonds and connections with these people, I felt like he was just trying to play safe. I felt like he was just trying to, you know, just keep his temper cool and not react or even overreact. And guys, that was just so annoying because I felt like, no, these people are going to set you up. In fact, they have set you up. Swanky has lied against you, and it's a very, very grave lie. So you should face it. You should attack that lie. Otherwise, you're going to have a reputation of being a liar, which was exactly what happened, because all through the dinner, up until Bonang left out of anger, she kept on referring to Lewis as a liar. She kept on calling him a liar. She kept on calling him a small boy. She kept on saying that she does not like him because he lies. Or because I'm a celebrity, you think I just say whatever I want to say about me. And then she was attacking this guy. And Swanky sat down there and was enjoying the show, sipping a champagne. Swanky's threat to Annie was what got me really scared of Swanky as a friend. Yes, that was what just made me feel like, nah, this guy. I mean, you can be an acquaintance, but nah, you cannot tell your secrets to someone like Swanky and then you go to bed with your eyes closed. No, you need to be scared. You need to be shaking. You need to be wondering like, oh my God, what is this guy gonna do next? Because the next thing Swanky said, oh my God, guys, Annie had said was our own reason, our own side of the story of why she and Swanky have issues. Swanky had claimed that actually he was the one that owned the idea for them to host their South African friends in Nigeria. That it was his idea. He had called Annie, right? He had tried to reach Annie via messages, via WhatsApp, via calls, that Annie is very, very unresponsive. So he had actually pushed the idea to Annie's management. Annie's management had passed on the idea to Annie. Yes. And then Annie had wanted to own the idea. She had wanted to do it all by herself. But then the management had told her that, no, you cannot do this by yourself because the idea does not belong to you. And so he had called Annie's manager. They were on phone talking. Then Annie had called and said that, oh, she wants to do the whole thing by herself. And that was what the manager was telling her, that you cannot do it by yourself because the idea does not belong to you. The idea belongs to Swanky. And then she had been saying a lot of things like, no, that she does not want to work with the guy. So Annie's manager had put him on mute. And that was when he had sent a message to this person threatening. Guys, do you know what that means? Do you know the implication of that threat? See, if Swanky goes through with that threat, I'm telling you, this is not a curse or anything, but Annie might decide to take her life. Yes. Because this is Lagos, this is Nigeria. There's so many things, there's so many rumors flying here and there about Swanky, about Tuface, about everybody. In fact, all the celebrities in this country, there are so many nasty and dirty rumors flying around about people. So if Swanky was threatening that was going to fuck shit up, guys, trust me, Swanky has receipts. And as petty and childish as he is, if he wants to go ahead and fuck shit up and he goes through with his threats, everywhere will scatter. Even Zari recognized that when you have someone's secret completely in your hand, when you know everything about someone, you can absolutely do whatever you want to do with that, with those secrets. Yes, guys. See, at that point, I just felt like, wow, Swanky is dangerous. Because what he was doing at that point in time was weaponizing Annie and Tuface's secrets against them. And guys, that's very, very dangerous. But this is not also to say that Annie is quite innocent. No, because guys, at the end of the day, we don't even know who is telling the truth. Swanky's version is completely different from Annie's version. And it's also very obvious that Swanky has actually said a lot more about Annie to the other ladies in the group. So we don't even know who is telling the truth. We don't know who's telling the lie. But then it definitely shows that, listen, in this life, you can't trust people 100%. Even that person that you call your bestie, you cannot tell all your secrets to that person. Yeah, because the day they decide to turn on you, even the universe might just not be able to help you. This part was quite interesting, yes. When Louis had taken Fantana aside to express his feelings towards her, you know, telling her that I would love for them to hang out and then see how it goes from there. And Fantana had given her consent that, oh, he should make the arrangement. She's game. According to her, she's not used to soft guys like Louis, but she feels like she needs someone like him in her life. And guys, see, that scene was just so ridiculously hilarious for me, because here's me thinking that, okay, Fantana, at least you should have told this guy that you have a thing going on with Diamond. And guys, there's also the part that Diamond and Louis, they have unfinished beef, unresolved beef. Remember, Louis had mentioned, I mean, was it Diamond? Yeah, both of them, in fact, had mentioned that they have a mutual ex. Yes, Louis had dated a girl that Diamond was dating at the time. So it was a mess. still a mess. Louis had tried reaching out to Diamond to apologize, to resolve issues, but Diamond was not ready for such a conversation. And now here is Fantana again, that Diamond has been dying to smash. Diamond is dying to get down with, that Diamond is already, planning to do things with. And once again, Louis is indicating interest in Fantana, and Fantana is giving a go ahead. So guys, oh my God, it's gonna be chaotic. One thing I could definitely read from Swanky's countenance when Louis and Fantana returned to the table after Bonang had finished slighting Louis, saying that she doesn't like the guy, he talks too much, he lies a lot, the guy has muscles, she doesn't like guys that like muscles, blah blah blah. One thing I could just sense from Swanky's countenance was jealousy. Yes, it was very obvious that Swanky did not like the fact that he invited Louis to that dinner, and Louis already had apologized to Bonang, and Louis was already talking to Fantana. It was very obvious that Swanky did not like it. Just like Kanye, it was very obvious that Swanky wanted to be in control, that Swanky was very, very possessive of his friends. He did not want anybody to steal the moment from him. So what he did next just completely proved my point. This guy, without anybody asking him, decided to go ahead and announce to Zari that, oh, Fantana and Diamond, they're an item, they like each other a lot, they are doing things, whilst trying to make it look like it was only trying to inform Zari, of Diamond's new relationship with Fantana. Guys, you and I know that he made that announcement to slight Louis. Yeah, you and I know that that was like an indirect warning to Louis that, dude, back off. Fantana is a no-go area. It was just literally him trying to rain on, Fantana's, or rather Louis's parade, yes. And that guy almost choked on that meat he was chewing. The guy was so uncomfortable. The guy was shocked because even Fantana herself did not mention it. And so it goes to show you that even Fantana herself is also a player, just like Diamond. Yes. Now, Zari, on the other hand, of course, was laughing about the whole thing. For her, well, whatever and whoever Diamond decides to be with, whatever he decides to do, whenever she walks into the room, nobody else is consequential to Diamond. But guess what? Fantana was fighting tooth and nail for a position with Diamond. I mean, guys, that banter between Zari and Fantana, it was just very, very hilarious. And it felt like Fantana was desperately trying to prove a point to Zari and the others that, listen, honey, even though you are this guy's baby mama, I am definitely coming to take your position. But guys, I loved the way Zari was laughing because, listen, Zari is right. No matter what Diamond does, both of them, they are tied to each other. Yes, and beyond those kids that exist between both of them, it's very obvious that there is more to their bond than meets the eye. It's never going to be possible for them to be married and for Diamond to be loyal to only Zari, but the truth is that loyalty is there. Now, let's address Louis's concern for Fantana. Yes, there's the part that Louis was obviously disappointed that he just indicated interest in Fantana, and now he's hearing that Fantana already has a thing going on with Diamond. But then I could also understand his point that if she goes ahead to be with Diamond, society is not going to regard her as a successful artist anymore. Instead, they're going to regard her now as Diamond's side chick, which is actually true. But guys, we cannot also take away the fact that the guy was also speaking in his own best interest. Yes. Now, Swanky had every issue with it. Bonang was going crazy over his own perspective. For Bonang, yes, she has fucked the biggest superstars in Africa, and she's still standing. Society is always dictating a woman's position, blah, blah, blah. For Bonang, she feels like, Louis is trying to box up Fantana, trying to give her a gender role. And guys, that erupted into a crazy argument. Now, it was also very obvious that in the midst of all of that drama, all of that argument, Bonang was not speaking from a place of genuine concern for Fantana. No, she was still angry at Louis, which also made me mad because I'm thinking, Bonang, you're trying to prove that you are the bigger person here. Ever since you were introduced to the group, you've been giving off the air of, oh, you're the bigger person, you are more smarter, intelligent, blah, blah, blah. So Louis is there, right there in front of you. Why can't you just call off his bullshit. Like, just address that issue once and for all. You're smiling at the guy initially, making it look like, oh, you've accepted the apology, and then now you're going crazy, you're going mad. So I just felt like all the drama that she created before she left was just completely unnecessary. Yeah, I just felt like she got herself all worked up. She did it to herself, and then she left out of anger. And I felt like her hurling insults at Lewis, even going as far as insulting his home country, Namibia, I just felt like that was completely unrefined of Bunang. And then Swanky was there having fun out of the whole drama. Guys, it just goes to show that all of those cast members, they're insane. Completely insane. So ladies and gentlemen, this is where I'm gonna stop talking now. I know that this video is lengthy, yes, but I needed to vent. So please go ahead and share with me your thoughts about all the drama that I have raised on this video. Just go ahead and share in the comment section below. I would love to know what you think. All right, and I'll see you guys on another episode of Frankly Speaking with Gloria Elijah. Have an amazing day. Bye.